Welcome back, scryers. It's a good thing your adventurers have had time to rest. We have much to learn in this sending. I do hope your crew have slept well, and perhaps even had a pint or two over at the Elf Song. I'll be introducing you to a fiend of mine, a friend of mine, in the short sendings. I will call upon Asafar, a tiefling gourmand and staunch business person. There's so much to discuss about his enigma of a persona, and we will. But before he makes his debut, I feel we must investigate our story at hand more. Your party has now made their way through the outskirts of Baldur's Gate. We encountered a heightened level of security unbecoming of a city that celebrates its commerce. Sure, Baldur's Gate citizens pride themselves on the order and security of their standing army and guard force, the Flaming Fist. But let's make no mistake. A city may be marshaled by its military, but it survives on its commerce. And last sending, even known merchants were being hassled at the entrances to the gate. Your crew has established business with the Missing Hand Guildhall, though, so we've passed beyond those barriers. We learned about the many districts beyond the tall walls, and a little about the supporting people that make Baldur's Gate so great. I hope we will have more time to learn about those people and places in the future. But for now, your crew has a contract to turn in, and even more riches to seek. So your adventurers have made their way into the city's walls and have sought out their rest. Fantastic! We'll challenge them with dangers and horror unknown. But for now, we must learn about the unanswered questions of this realm. What is the blinding? Why are portals to other places in this realm and beyond malfunctioning? Who's going to do something about this? Let's make our way to the Missing Hand Guildhall and see if we can't find some information. Now it's time we turned our attention to a matter far darker than even the creeping shadows of the Cloakwood. Listen closely, scryers, for I've heard word of something most unsettling. My bats have witnessed some unusual activity within. There, amidst the many whispers of the city, one voice rises above the rest. It's that of Anavari. She's been using her connections within the sorceress and magical communities within Baldur's Gate. Perhaps my bats can hear what she has to say about all this increased guard activity. Of course, you know I have a bat or two posted in the rafters of the Missing Hand. Yes, let's listen to Anavari's insight.
Oh my gods and goddesses, have you seen all the guards charging about, questioning everyone about everything? I know it has been causing the heightened guard presence, the increasing tension in the gate. The source of this disturbance is far more dangerous than the schemes of any one person or faction. It's all linked to the blinding. Listen up, because the truth is far worse than you can imagine. The Lady Nesheret has crossed the boundaries between the Feywild and Faerun. The crossing of these realms is no simple magic, let me tell you. The lady herself is a being of ancient knowledge. She's some sort of queen of the Fae, and she brings with her a truth so grave that it shakes the very foundation of reality. She knows what has caused the blinding. The blinding is not merely an eclipse or a sign of darkness, it's the death of a god. Not just any god. This god was the very force that held our worlds apart. His name was Kanos. Kanos is a forgotten god. He was always just sort of there, you know? He didn't interfere in the workings of other gods or any of the dealings of us tiny mortals. He was just kind of, glue? He was a deity who maintained the separation between the planes. His existence kept our world and the others from colliding into chaos. He was the barrier that kept each plane from consuming the other. But now he's gone. The god has died, and in his death he's shattered. His essence, his very being, has broken into pieces, scattered across the planes of existence, and there are vying to seek out these fragments. One group wishes to take the power from these fragments of Kanos and create a new god, one who will unify the planes but at a horrific cost. Kanos' death has already set the wheels of destruction in motion. If these pieces are gathered and reformed into a new god, then this new god will draw all the worlds into one, into a singular existence, and the consequences would be catastrophic. The merging of the planes would mean the death of unfathomable numbers of souls, the destruction of this delicate balance between realms. Like if multiple planes of existence come together, then is this building still a building? Maybe it's a lake. Maybe it's a volcano. Could you imagine a volcano existing in the middle of Baldur's Gate? And we'd be in it. Would I still be me, or would I be something from another plane of existence? Would you still be you? What's worse is that this new upstart god thinks he's helping. He thinks that this is the only way to stabilize the planes. He's trying to stop the destruction of reality itself, and if the blinding isn't any indication, then he's at least half right. There was nothing wrong with our eyes. When we all went blind, we were watching reality blink. It flickered. We saw it, but we just couldn't understand it. The new god doesn't seem to want to dominate, but he is blind to the consequences of his actions. Those who seek to ascend him with the god pieces to rebuild him into a new being think they're helping, but they're ignorant to the true cost. They seek to undo the natural order. Lady Nasheret knows all of this. She's trying to stop those who'd gather the pieces of Kanos and to control the fate of the world. But there is so much more at play here than just her intentions. The future of the planes themselves hang in the balance. And worse, Lady Nasheret is being pursued by those who seek to raise a new god. That's why there's so many flaming fists about, questioning everyone. They're here to protect Lady Nasheret while she's still here. But she can't stay here in Baldur's Gate. Too many people know she's here already, and she thinks she can help. She needs to go further up the coast, and she's going to need some protection. A big group of flaming fists can't go. Everyone would see them and know that she was being escorted. So they called on us, the missing hand. And we can't send our best and brightest. Most of the other missing hand have made names for themselves up and down the coast. We help people, and people take notice of that sort of thing. So we need some people who haven't done anything yet, some people who are unknown. So, do you want the job or what?
Now, scryers, meddling in the affairs of gods is seldom advisable. But here we're presented with the threat of reality itself unraveling. So the blinding is less of an ocular ailment and more of a reality faltering situation. I suppose the good news is, your eyesight's just fine. Well, one less thing to worry about. But now we must turn our attention to your adventurers again. They've been presented with a monumental problem. Lady Nasheret needs to make her way quietly out of the city whilst being pursued by unknown assailants. Should your company accept this contract, they'll learn that the task is to escort Lady Nasheret to the town of Daggerford. Now, those of you who know the town will know two things about Daggerford. Number one, it's quite a ways north up the coast beyond some truly dangerous and terrifying terrain. Number two, very little of import happens in Daggerford. It shares much in common with Irewheel, it's being a stopover for travelers heading north to the City of Splendors, Waterdeep. To the south of Baldur's Gate, you rest in Irewheel. Head north, and you stop in Daggerford. So why would Lady Nasheret wish to travel to a farming town? What assailants are pursuing her? And why in the nine hells are your ragtag group of would-be heroes being chosen to guard her? I'm sure that your crew has 1,000 questions, and none of them are answered on that curled scroll containing the contract. But that's why they call it an adventure, dear scryers. If you knew all the dangers and all the details about the task, it would just be called an errand. And what group of adventurers aspires to complete errands? In my experience, adventurers crave impending doom, mystery to the point of bafflement, and odds of success that rival experiencing a heat wave in Icewind Dale. If you can't tell by the name, not many people wear light coats or short pants in any season in Icewind Dale. Ah, but what a fantastic lot adventurers are. All you have to do is plant a sign that says, "Certain death, this way," and they'll throw themselves into the peril. Now that Anavari has described the situation, Kroll will make an appearance from his back office. He'll tell your crew that several of his more experienced mercenaries are out on assignment already, and that this contract must be undertaken straight away. He'll reinforce what Anavari stated about attracting attention, and that most of the Missing Hands mercenaries would be discounted for this contract, simply because they're too notable already. No, your unknown ragtag crew is perfect for this assignment. He'll offer to help outfit your crew with supplies for the first leg of the trip and a pack horse to carry what you need. Your crew will receive food and provision enough to see them through the Fields of the Dead and the Troll Claws Mountains. After which, you can restock in the city surrounding Dragonspear Castle. Well, I can hardly wait to avail you with the details of all these delightful locales, scryers. So many tantalizing names of places full of danger. But we'll focus on the task at hand. Jaren has been skulking at the back of the bar again, and will step forward from the shadows to offer support for your crew. Let's see if my bats can pick that up as well.
The Lady Nazare is currently in residence in the upper city, where the security is presumably the strongest. It is where the money of Baldur's Gate tends to gather, after all, so it any wonder is where most of the guards tend to be. Her business here is almost concluded, so she will be seeking to leave tomorrow. We have suggested that she leave at dusk, as sneaking her out in the dead of night will only arouse more suspicion from those who could be watching the gates. We have arranged for a grand dinner for her and several high-ranking dignitaries in Baldur's Gate. The Lady Nazare will proceed with a full retinue of flaming-faced soldiers to the Helm and Cloak Tavern. As well, the dignitaries will arrive with lavish entourage and more than a little fanfare. There will be a fantastic feast on the rooftop terrace of the Helm, where all will be able to see the soiree from down below. Of course, Lady Nazare will not be attending her splendid dinner. A pity we have not told the dignitaries, no? But I am sure their insulted sensibilities can be smoothed over. The lady will be meeting you in the larder located in the basement of the Helm building, where you will be waiting with merchant disguises that I have procured for you. From there, you will slip out of the servants' entrance and into the city, unknown, unwatched, and hopefully unimportant. You can make your way out the Black Dragon Gate, and you should be able to make it a ways away from the city before it gets too dark for travel. Our dear moon, Selune, is almost full, so you should have plenty of light to get a head start. By the time the apologies for Lady Nazare's lateness begin to wear thin, and the dignitaries lose their patience, I expect you will be quite a ways away already. So you see, this contract is already easy money. A simple test for good coin. Yara makes it easy for you, no?
Ah, brilliant, scryers. A plot is in play, and for once it's not targeted against your crew. Though I suspect that Jaren is perhaps overly optimistic about the difficulty of the task at hand. He's only seen to getting your crew out of the city, and there are some deadly lands to the north. And because of that, most travelers head east, curving around the edges of the Fields of the Dead and avoid the Trollclaws Mountains altogether. But such is not the luck of your adventurers. No, we are far more creative. They will have to make their way along the northern route and through the mountains. Time is of the essence for Lady Nasheret, and perhaps for the very realms themselves. It takes over 2.5 weeks to go east, where a swift group can take the northern pass in a 10-day. We've learned much, scryers, and now your crew has a day to prepare. Mundane provisions will be seen to, but your group may wish to secure armaments or arcane artifacts to aid them in their journeys. Perhaps they will merely seek another day of comfort before braving the perils of the road. But though the shopping here in Baldur's Gate is perhaps less legendary than, say, that of Waterdeep, almost anything can still be had here for a price. We'll have to leave it there for now, scryers. Some of my older and more sentient zombies have begun groaning for a day off. Can you imagine? It's been no more than a decade since I had to last deal with this nonsense. If this keeps up, I'll really have to start looking into replacing them with constructs and automatons. Metal brains may be dumb, but they don't whine as much. Or perhaps maybe some imps and demons instead. The right summonings can produce very satisfactory levels of indentured servitude. Well, no one promised owning a secluded keep would be easy. I've raised my bed of the dead, and now I must lie in it. Till next we tell tales in the dark, dear scryers.